Hey there, this is John Paulus. You're listening to Life's Potluck Buffet. Thanks for joining me today. I am so grateful you did. Okay, today's card is card number 46. And this is another card that has an Easter egg on it. And the Easter egg in this card, if you look up to the right-hand corner of the card where the number 46 is, you'll see that the bowl, which is a yellow bowl that usually has greens in it, the yellow bowl has morphed into a casserole, a pot, and the green you could see coming like over the sides of it. And so it looks a little bit like a dirty pot. And there's a reason for this, is because card number 46 is about dirty pots. Well, it's about a lot more than that, but it starts with dirty pots. So let me read the card to you. Always begin with specific and detailed action. To clean a dirty pot, begin by scrubbing one dirty spot. Solve all problems and tackle all jobs the same way. Begin with a specific and concrete action on one small element. Give an example of how you've done this recently or what you are planning to do in this way. And once again, I'm struck by how many of these cards have a little bit of a rhyming jingle on them. To clean a dirty pot, begin by scrubbing one dirty spot. It sounds like the beginning of a limerick. All right, I'll tell you a little bit of a fact about myself. People who know me very well know this fact. I am really good at getting stains out of things and cleaning things. It is a real skill. I take a special pride in it, and I trace it back to a day when I was a young man and had a prized, ruffled tuxedo shirt. You know these things, the 70s and 80s, early 80s tuxedo shirts that have ruffles instead of pleats. Now I feel like even pleats are not used, where we just have like a plain front formal dress shirts to wear with a black tie or white tie. But anyway, there was a time, and I think it's come back into fashion now and again. I feel like I saw Michael B. Jordan wearing one of these in a picture. Now, you know what? I don't think Michael B. Jordan would wear a ruffled shirt. It's not. I think that's me just projecting my style choices onto someone who is a very stylish person who I've seen pictures of wearing a tuxedo stylishly. So I'm going to say Michael B. Jordan probably does not have a ruffled shirt. But Michael B. Jordan, if you're out there, please let me know in the comments if you own a ruffled tuxedo shirt. Thank you. And also, hello. Oh, yeah, the story. Don't let me forget that. So I got a little bit of sauce on this prized ruffled tuxedo shirt, and I was really upset because it's a prized shirt. So I went to the bathroom, and it was one of those bathrooms that had the old-fashioned powdered hand soap dispensers. So not liquid, not foam, not gel, not anything. Powdered soap dispensers. You know these things, they kind of look a little bit like, well, the key part is that there's a very difficult to operate, at least for me, kind of pin in it where you kind of have to like depress it, like press up on it, and then like powdered soap like kind of comes out, but not really, and you're just trying to like kind of just desperately just get the soap to come out of the thing. It had one of those. If you have ever encountered one of these in your life, please put it in the comments, because I feel like we should have some sort of club of people who have been frustrated by these things, but also secretly love them. Anyway, so it's powdered soap to wash your hands with. And so I used that to very carefully remove the stain. It was a kind of tomatoey sauce, as I recall. So that's where my need to really be an expert at removing spots and stains. And so that's how it all began. Oh, now the pot on the card that I mentioned that's in the little Easter egg is the same type of pot that's on the back of the card. We'll flip it over. If you see where it says Life's Potluck Buffet. And that's that same pot. It's a Dutch oven. That's what we call it in the U.S. Elsewhere in the world, you might call it a casserole in English. But it's a heavy pot. It could be, say, cast iron with enamel. It could be ceramic, metal. And it seals in heat and moisture as its own little kind of mini oven. The ones that have the ridges on top, do you know what those ridges are for? So if you have one of these at home and it has a lid with ridges, I know one brand that I'm thinking of that has very prominent ridges on it. The reason for those ridges is so that coals don't fall off of the pot. Because see, originally, all right, you see, nowadays we put the Dutch oven in our ovens, right? In the olden days, that was the oven. You put the oven on coals and then you cover it with coals in some techniques. And the problem with that is that the coals would slide off the top of the Dutch oven. So these ovens were designed with lids that prevented that from happening. Very clever. Do you own a casserole like the one on the Life's Potluck Buffet card deck? If you do, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you call it wherever you are in the world. And let me know what you cook in it. If you're still listening, Michael B. Jordan, thank you for listening again. And I know you put in the thing about the ruffled, whether you own a ruffled shirt or not, but maybe you could also say whether or not you own this kind of casserole. Card number 46 is another card that falls under the category of small things become big things. And this is a theme that runs throughout Life's Potluck Buffet. Why? Because it's true. And it's a little thing that doesn't get said enough. So give an example of how you've done something like this recently, where you started with that one spot in order to clean the whole dirty pot. Use an example from your work life. So I'll give you one example that relates to this podcast. I started this podcast by recording 10 minutes. First by pulling one card one morning and saying, okay, I'm going to record my thoughts and my answers to this card, and I'm going to help people listening at home or at wherever you are to use these cards by talking about them and leading them through it. And so I started with that small action, which was the selection of the card and the recording of a short podcast. And that's how you start with a specific and detailed action to say, I am going to commit to doing a podcast about a card, and I'm going to go through with that specific and detailed action. And it starts by simply selecting a card and looking at it. And then the second simple action that happens is I press record and off we go. So think about what you pressed record on recently. Because, as I've been saying, that little simple action is the start of something big. If you enjoyed this little episode, please click on the small thumbs up to like it, subscribe, and head over to lifespotluck.com to learn more about the world of Life's Potluck Buffet. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.